13 Secrets of Napoleon Hill. 1. Desire. It is not accidental that Hill began with desire. Success always began with desire. Most people want to be successful. Wanting success is a waste of time. Worse, it just produces frustration. Only a burning, all-consuming, fervent, and passionate desire will produce the exceptional result that make up true success. Wanting is best understood by its second meaning in the dictionary: lack. To want for something is to lack something, and so long as you merely want success, you will lack success. Wanting is mere wishful thinking. Desire, on the other hand, is an extremely potential force. It is a supreme motivator. It is metaphysical principle of creation. Desire is an energetic emanation of the human spirit that enacts the law of attraction. Desire is the metaphysical equivalent of gravity. Desire draws to you the thing desired, or the element that will constitute the thing desired. Desire is the fuel that ignites the fire that transmutes thoughts into things. The sad truth about most people who claim to want success is that they actually do not desire success. What they desire is a comfort and security. The path to real success often demands that you give up comfort and security in order to gain rewards greater than mere creature comforts and minor financial security. For years, I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to know well. It was not until one day, in my frustration and anger, I graduated from wanting to truly desiring success, and as a result, I was most magically captured into millionaire status. It was the burning passion of fervent desire that pushed me out of my comfort zone of mediocrity and security and empowered me to achieve real success. It was my desire that enabled me to get past of the fear and failure and get past the frustrations of obstacles to achieve the success I had wanted for so many years. You must have or develop a burning passion or success. Without it, you are highly unlikely to achieve it. Get passionate or stay home. This is critical. Your desire must be specific. It must be attached to a clear and specific ideal, a clear and consistent thought picture of what success means to you. Desire is one of the 10 Ds of super success that I define, explain, and elaborate on in the Self-Tech Success Library ebooks. 2. Faith. Hill says all thoughts that have been emotionalized, giving feeling through desire, and mixed with faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. What he alludes to but does not fully explain is that it is our beliefs themselves that either empower us to soar to previously unimaginable heights or chain us to lower echelons of achievement. Not only must you have a burning desire for a specific thought of success, but you must have the faith or belief that success is not only available to you as an abstract, but it is your birthright, and all you need to do is claim it as your own, and it shall be yours. Your faith in your ideal and your faith in your right to the havingness of this ideal is crucial to your being able to end up having it. Most people have their faith or belief formed by the evidence of what has already happened or been made manifest. As a result, they find it difficult to believe in things that are not historically proven. What has been historically proven for the masses and for you personally thus far is mediocrity, that without the belief in the potentiality of success as being as real as the actuality of mediocrity, you will not be able to achieve the imagined ideal of success. Hill also goes on to say that autosuggestion or repeated affirmation can enable faith and belief. He does not address the issue of core beliefs that can, despite all affirmation to the contrary, imprison a person in a lack and limitation. Hill himself was fortunate that his association with Carnegie and the other self-made successful people that Carnegie introduced him to enable him over time to discard any core beliefs he may have had about wealth and poverty and success or failure, and to take on a new core beliefs. He was in effect brainwashed by his own research into the principles of success, so that his core beliefs become those he wrote about. You may have to do the same. Brainwash yourself. Cleanse your mind of any limiting core beliefs you may hold so that new empowering beliefs can be installed. How to do that is addressed in the Self-Tech Success Library. All the tools you need are there waiting for you to discover and apply so that you may achieve the success you desire. Faith is, indeed, to quote Christianity greatest talisman's poll, the evidence of things not seen. Doubt can turn a molehill into a mountain. Faith can move mountains. Know this. There are two separate energetic vibrational outputs of human consciousness that leads to creation or conscious manifestation when they are braided together. The first is a concrete, specific, repetitive idealization through combined with desire. The second is a firm, profound belief in the actuality of an ideal combined with intentionally of behavior. Have a faith it shall come to pass. You must have both electromagnetic braids of continuation happening at the same time. Thought plus desire, faith plus intent. This whole process of manifestation is explained in this book, Creating and Living a Super Successful Life. 3. Autosuggestion. Hill emphasizes in this chapter for the second time in the book the crucial importance of having clearly defined written goals that are repeated, preferably out loud to oneself throughout the day. Now he goes further and states that it is very important to affirm one's goal and ideas at some quiet time, such as just before falling asleep. He may have been unfamiliar with meditation technique or may have been reluctant to encourage their use in a time when such things were seen as a part of Eastern mysticism and as being out of sync with his obvious Christian beliefs. Here is why the quiet time is ideal for autosuggestion or affirmation. When you intentionally think about, repeat and affirm your ideas, you are planting the seeds that will grow to bear fruit. When your mind is busy with all kind of distracting thoughts or worse, non-contributory or negative thoughts, you are planting your seeds amongst an abundance of weeds. When your mind is still and focused, you are in effect preparing fresh and fertile, weed-free ground in which to plant your thought seeds. In addition to preparing the ideal mental ground to plant your thought seeds, meditation also still your mind so that Intuition can be accessed, insight can be attained, and your connectivity to the absolute can be ascertained. Since all creativity springs from the potentiality of the infinite and absolute, it only makes practice sense to become as intimate with the infinite as you can manage. Meditation is the well worn and proven method of achieving this intimacy. Repeated affirmation of ideas and goals is highly effective. It is even more effective when done in meditative state. It is even more effective when you use insight, obtained through meditation and contemplation of self, to come to know and continuously choose which core beliefs you will hold, discard, or take on. You are fortunate beyond measure in comparison to those who lived when Hill originally wrote Think and Grow Rich. Not only is the ignorance of and prejudice against meditation almost gone from the educated people of today, there are now several advanced techniques enabled by scientific understanding and application of brainwave states and their relationship to mental activity. We have all been, in a sense, brainwashed by our parents, our teachers, and our societal groupthink to hold certain expectations and certain beliefs, choosing to enact what he calls autosuggestion and affirmation is choosing to do your own intentional brainwashing, or what Larry Batson, Lilly, and others have called metaprogramming your own biocomputer in order to program yourself for success. He'll propose writing down your ideas and goals on 3x5 cards and carrying them with you. I support this. There is something magical in writing. Today, however, you can also record your goals, ideas, and affirmations into MP3 files and listen to them while driving, walking, or standing in a line at a bank to deposit your developing wealth. Your own voice, repeating over and over again your affirmation of your ideas and goals will implant this into your subconscious tape loop that runs in the background 24/7 hours. Fourth, specialized knowledge. In this chapter of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill goes to great lengths to make the distinction between generalized knowledge and specialized knowledge, and between formal education and practical information by citing examples of the lives of certain individuals in an offhand manner. Hill alludes to the most important thing about knowledge. Here it is plainly spoken, knowledge by and of itself has a little, if any, value. You may find that shocking or at least contrary to everything you have been taught. But it is true. Knowledge only becomes valuable in its application. You may have heard that knowledge is power. Wrong. It is applied knowledge that begets power, wealth, and the advancement of humanity. The secret is in the application, not in the knowledge itself. For years, I considered myself to be highly educated about success. I willfully ignored the evidence of my own lack of success, considering it a temporary aberration. Once I really got that it is the application, not the possession of knowledge, that produces results, I went from average to highly successful in a matter of months. The quote, one of the wisest of teachers, Confucius, the essence of knowledge is having it to apply it, not having it to confess your ignorance. Hill does point out in the first paragraph of the chapter that although universities possesses perhaps all of the aggregate knowledge of humankind, professors, for the most part, although surrounded by all this knowledge and taught very knowledgeable, have themselves little or no money. While many people of little formal education go on to produce great wealth and great material advancement for all humanity. He also alludes to, but does not spell out plainly, that the very best form of specialized knowledge that a person who desires success and wealth can obtain is the knowledge of how to become successful. How sad it is to teach our children to aspire to success, but not teach them how to get it. We teach them that an education will bring them success and happiness, but neglect to tell them what specific education that is, and further neglect to say that it is the application of the specific education that will bring success and happiness. Hill makes great use of the story of Henry Ford, providing in Condrum that although he was uneducated, he was not ignorant, because as he said it, anytime I should wish to know something specific, I can simply push a button on my desk and some person who knows the answer will come to provide it to me. These days, with the accumulation of information and training being as easy as a click of a mouse, there is no excuse for being successful in any field except that you are ignorant of the principle of success, or for some personal specificity refuse to apply them to your life. 5. Imagination. In this chapter, Hill not only points out the role of imagination in human development, but also makes the clear distinction between the two main types of imagination, which he calls synthetic imagination and creative imagination. This distinction is a critical understanding I or other may haven't chosen to label and explain in our own writing this distinction in different ways, but the labels do not matter. Most people who claim to use their imagination are using the type Hill called synthetic imagination. It is of little use save for a personal entertainment. The great humanistic psychologist William James had this to say about the same subject. Many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. Synthetic imagination is the manipulation of effects. Creative imagination is casual that creates effect. All things from the invention of writing to the invention of the internet came about because of the use of creative imagination. Synthetic imagination merely, at best, can improve upon what already exists. The bringing of new things into existence requires the use of creative imagination. The creation of wealth can be obtained with elegance through the informed and practical use of synthetic imagination. Example, creating a better mousetrap. But most wealth and most advancement in human technology comes about through the use of creative imagination. Succinctly put, your imagination in the workshop in which you mostly without conscious recognition creative the result that show up in your life. What you hold as imagined in your mind is what show up in your life. If what you are imagining is simply a rehash of what has already occurred or been created by others, then your results shall be limited to what has been, not what can be. The sad thing that we inflict upon our children and ourselves is the dampening of imagination. It is only in your imagination, is the common refrain. We neglect, tell them, or reinforce that all great and wonderful things that exist in our world had their genesis only in imagination. What is not recognized, honored, and amplified is that it is the dreamers, the imaginers, who go on to produce the new, wonderful, the unique advancement that end up creating not only personal wealth but greater wealth and well-being for all humankind. Know this, that which you imagine, expect, and visualize in your internal world is that which gets produced in your external world. This is not been proven by the science of quantum mechanics, as has been so expertly described by the scientific genius David Bohm. The explicate is not only best understood by but is brought into being by the implicate of pure consciousness and its imagination in its imagining of what is and what can be. Organized planning. This is my opinion, is the weakest chapter of Hill's book. He speaks of the need for organized planning but skirts around the issue. Instead offering suggestions about how to get job and write some useless paragraphs extolling the American way, which in any case no longer exists as he describes it. Every noteworthy or great accomplishment came about because there was a plan. What Hill should have done is point out the need to have concrete written goals that are in harmony with one's chosen purpose and or ideas. Goals are not vague aspirations like I want to be rich. They are concrete, defined steps in the fulfillment of your personal vision or purpose. They are a specific plan. I am always amazed by how many people continue to refuse to have a clear, concise written goals despite being presented again and again with evidence that those who do have written goals succeed and those who do not do not. There have been many studies about the effectiveness of having written goals. They invariably show the same results. 95% of people who have written goals end up accomplishing them. 95% of people who do not have written goals do not accomplish much of anything. If you can read this paragraph and not have begun the process of having written goals by the time you go to bed tonight, you should know that you are choosing failure. Business that succeed have a business plan. The business of life also requires plan. When you have a plan, you know what you are about. You know when you are on track. You can measure your progress. You can tell others who might enroll in your vision that what it is need doing. You can provide leadership to all those who enroll in your plan and most. 7. Decision. Decision is another one of the 10 Ds of super success that I describe in the library. Napoleon Hill says his analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had a habit of reaching decisions, prompting and changing this decision slowly, if and when they were changed at all. People who fall to accumulate money without exception have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly and of changing this decision quickly and often. Another Napoleon Bonaparte says this: nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious than to be able to decide. The ability to make clear, firm, resolute decision is as precious gift as life itself. It is what enables human beings to take control of their lives, to rise above chance and circumstance, and to chart a destiny. Those who fail to make conscious choices may as well not have any free will, for they squander the gift of decisiveness. The successful and happy human being is the one in whom choice is intentional and purposeful. Decision produces results. It can also be said that the failure to decide is in itself a decision to let your life be governed by event and circumstance. Decision can be called choice by design. Lack of decisiveness is choice by default. It is also choice. It is the decision to choose unhappiness, mediocrity, and commodity. There is no more miserable human being than one in whom nothing is habitual but indecisional. William James. Those who make decisions are the masters of their fate. Those who don't are the servants of fate. Those who decide to become, to enact, and to have according to their own design are assisted by the law of creation. There is enormous power unleashed by a simple decision. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Unfortunately, many people miss the importance of the last phrase in Napoleon Hill's first sentence in the second paragraph about they treat their decisions like men treat a TV remote control, constantly changing from one exceptional to another. Decision should be firm, as in the following example: I resolve this date, day, month, or year to do such and to stay the course until it is done, which brings us to Hill's 8 secret of success: persistence. 8. Persistence. On almost every page of my prosperity paradigm engine, you will find a very succinct formula that I like to shorten to P3 is equal to P. It is this: purpose plus passion plus persistence is equal to prosperity. Hill says this persistence is an essential factor in transmuting desires into its money equivalent. He goes on to explain that desire plus the power of will persistence make an irresistible pair and almost always end up producing wealth. A long attention span combined with determination is an attribute shared by all successful people. These days, most people don't have the attention span of a gnat. They channels surf. These opinions change from day to day. They cannot read anything longer than a USA Today article. They move from fade to fade. They change from one business opportunity to next without ever waiting for their work to bear fruit. Thomas Edison commented that 90% of people quit 90% of the way to accomplishing their goals. These days, it is 99% who quit a mere 20% of the way. Those who persist win, those who do not lose. That is as true today as it was 60 years ago when Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. It seems that the only thing that most people have the capacity to persist with is their bad habits of thinking and believing. Despite the overwhelming evidence that the way they think and what they believe is not producing the result they desire, they persist in hanging on to what does not work. Define your ideas, plan their enhancement, and persist in your plan, and you will produce results. Desire and faith are the fuel that produces persistence. Persistence turns stumbling blocks into stepping stones on your pathway to success. The many perceive a molehill as an insurmountable mountain blocking their path. The few choose to see a mountain in their path as an opportunity to gain a vaster perspective of their pathway forward. It is simply a matter of attitude. Purpose plus passion plus persistence equals prosperity. Calvin Coolidge said it clearly: nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Rewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. This is as succinct as I can say. If you fail to persist, you will persist in falling. Power of the Mastermind. This is my favorite chapter of the entire Think and Grow Rich book. Not just because Hill stresses the importance of having a mastermind group of like-minded people, but also because he clearly explains the value of specific knowledge and that power is derived only from the direct and purposeful application of knowledge. The importance of brainstorming with like-minded individuals cannot be overstated. Work groups, executive team, board members are all the direct recognition that the collective power of several minds working and planning together can accomplish much more than one mind alone. Two or more minds working in harmony produce a synergetic energy that waves a concrete reality out of purpose, vision, and determination. Harmony is not just some nice, feel good environment. All creation is comprised of a vibration. Harmonious vibrations are creative, discordant vibrations are destructive. When you intentionally place yourself into a harmonious position, you are acting in a concert with the natural laws of universal creation. The people you hang around with are a part of your mastermind team. Pay close attention to the quality of thinking that your associated have. Most people prefer to hang out with those who do not challenge them. It is more comfortable. What do your friends and associates talk about? Will average people talk about other people, read people, magazine, and in so doing affirm that the activities and successes of other people are more real and more valuable than their own. Average people talk about things, events, and circumstances. Watch the nighty network nightmare news, and in so doing affirm that the conditions of the world control their success. Above average people talk about ideas, concepts, real good books, and in so doing affirm that their own success is dependent upon learning and applying the right ideas. Super successful people talk about their own ideas with visions, communicate about them with other super successful people, and in so doing affirm that their success derives from their personal power to think, desire, believe, and act with intent or purpose. If you had the opportunity to have a group of super successful people as your personal advisor, coaching you to become all that you were capable of becoming and mentoring you to achieve the fulfillment of your potential, would you take it? Would you follow the advice of people who have achieved huge levels of success, personal fulfillment, and happiness in place of those who are mired in mediocrity? Would you like to have a self-made millionaires on your mastermind team? If the answer is yes, then obtain the Self-Tech Success Library and inform from other proven success coaches like Napoleon Hill, Randy Gage, and Harv Eker. Study the specific knowledge of success and apply it to your life, and you will succeed. 10. Transmutation. Boy, I had a taut time with this chapter when I first read the book in my youth. I honestly thought that although I recognized there to be a link between creativity and sexuality, it was mostly some old man's rationalization for warning sexuality. It was not until I studied the chakras and began to understand the true vibrability nature of creation that it became clear what Hill was talking about was prime metaphysical understanding about creative energy and how to utilize it. It was also, as he predicted, not until I had passed my 4th birthday that I actually began to clue into what he was talking about. 11. The subconscious mind. It is quite clear to any reader of the chapter who has also read Hanel's The Master Key that Hill draws heavily on that earlier work to formulate his thoughts for this chapter. It was Hanel, not Hill, who gave me my personal aha moment about the real nature of success and its source as being within the mind rather than in external world. It was Hanel that helped me become an overnight success and self-made millionaire. My modernized version of Master Key is one of the 17 ebooks that make up self-tech success library. It is essential reading for anyone who truly desires to become a successful conscious creator. Most people have a little understanding of the workings of their conscious mind and even less understanding of the working of the subconscious mind. Here are the essential understanding you need to acquire. It is the subconscious mind, not a conscious mind, that exert the most control over your beliefs, thoughts, and actions, and thus your results. The subconscious can, however, be consciously programmed and controlled by the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the source of insight, intuition, imagination, and creativity. The subconscious mind is also your direct link to the collective subconsciousness of humanity, which also has a greater influence of your beliefs, thoughts, and actions than does your conscious mind. The subconscious mind is also your direct link to universal consciousness, which is the source of all power and creativity. Your subconscious mind is accessible only when you learn how to still the hyperactivity of the conscious mind. Meditation techniques are the best way to accomplish his control. To learn precisely as I did the makeup and use of the subconscious mind and a step by step cumulative program on how to put it to its maximum benefit. Order your copy of Volume 2 at of Self-Tech Success Library, which contain the master key and more material that will awaken your power potential and allow you finally have the results you have been striving to attain. Well, the brain. Hill can be forgiven, I think, for mixing brain and mind together as if they were one and the same thing. Most people still do the same thing. However, simply because mind is evident in brain does not mean that one is the other. Anyone than a glass should be confused with the water it contains. The attributes of the brain are quite simple. It is a mass of biological material that permits electrochemical activity. The attributes of the mind are quite a bit more complex. He also shows once again his limited knowledge of brain or mind activities and meditation techniques here. He refers again the increased frequency of the mind or brain when creativity is engaged, although there is some truth to the idea that brainwaves activity spikes momentarily during periods of intense creativity. It is now pretty well understood that creativity, insight, intuition, and the so-called super learning state come about when brainwave activity is reduced from the normal beta frequencies of 15 to 75 cycles per second to alpha state frequencies of between 7 to 14 CPS. It is although the deliberate showing down of the activities of the conscious mind that the subconscious attributes of minds can be accessed. Deeper meditative states like theta, which exhibits brainwave activity of between 4 to 6 CPS, provide access to even deeper subconscious attributes of minds and to the collective subconsciousness of humanity. Deeper still is the delta state of half to 4 CPS, wherein the infinite universal intelligence can be both perceived and accessed. So, contrary to popular misconception, it is not increased brain activity that produces a great ideas or the resulting wealth. It is in reducing and consciously controlling the specific activities of mind, that is thought, that produces inspiration, insight, and wealth. It is now understood that the average human has around 60,000 thoughts per day. 99% of these are non-productive, non-contributory, random subconscious noise. The few who learn how to examine and exert control over the thoughts that they allow to pass through mind are the ones who attain, achieve, and accomplish so much more than their fellows. It is not the general increased vibration of mental activity as described by Hill, but the increased frequency of specific consciously chosen thoughts. 13. The sixth sense. This chapter is so profound that I hesitate to even comment on it long before people began channeling discarnate entities for the wisdom. Napoleon Hill was having full cabinet meetings in his imagination with men, many long dead, that he considered to be the wise ones. At one point he stopped, fearful that his imaginary meetings were becoming more real than everyday reality. His imaginary mastermind mentors come to him to demand he continue his work or perish for refusing to fulfill his destiny. And so he did. And what a great work it was proven to be. Much of the wealth and of the last half of the 20th century came about because of the action taken by men and women who were directly inspired by Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich to create not only their own great personal wealth but an increase in wealth and well being for all humanity. What Hill calls the sixth sense is your direct and intimate connection to the infinite, ineffable, universal mind, source of all that is and all that can be. You are the channel whereby the infinite makes manifest the finite. You are wealthy beyond measure. All you need to do is to claim your birthright. Think clearly, purposefully, creatively. Attached to those idealized thought or passionate desire to have them made manifest. Have a faith that it shall be so. Attach to your belief that firm intent that your beginningness and action will causes the ideas to make made real, and so it shall be. Think and Grow Rich is a gem. It should be required reading in all schools. Even its few errors are themselves apparent to us now these 60 years later due mostly to the advances that have come about in great part to the knowledge and inspiration provided by Hill himself. If you have not yet read Think and Grow Rich, read it now. If you have read Think and Grow Rich, read it again now. If you have read it again, memorize it. If you have memorized it, put it into practice. You will indeed to be able to think and grow rich in so many ways. Closing thoughts. What exactly are you thinking? Why? To what purpose? What are you desiring? What you have a faith in? Yourself and you right to wealth. To what intent do you think what you think? Say what you say. Do what you do. Here is a Napoleon Hill secret of success explained. Clear, consistent thought, entwined with fervent desire, combined with profound belief, entwined with purposeful intent, creates the results you consciously choose to have in your life. Create an ideal form, a plan, affirm its reality, and persist until it is made manifest. Know that you are given the power to create what you desire. Then just do it. What you think about, you bring about. Anonymous. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes of mind. William James. The world we have created is a product of overthinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Albert Einstein. We are what we think. With our thought, we make our world. The Buddha. Summary. Do you want wealth? Get the wealth consciousness. Charles Hannell. Successful men and women become successful because they acquire the habit of thinking in terms of success. Napoleon Hill. Anything the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Think and grow rich. Napoleon Hill. Hill's closing warning. Fear is the great destroyer. Banish fear from your life. It does not serve you in any way. Go forward in faith. Faith that you have destiny to fulfill. Fear not. There is, after all, nothing to fear except fear itself. And it is a mere phantom, a ghost that disappears in the light of awareness. Thank you.